One of my favorite horror movies is the movie It Follows, directed by David Robert Mitchell. And if you know about the movie and the plot, basically It is this entity. It can take the form of someone you know, someone you don't know, and it's always coming towards you to destroy you. And the rules beyond that were a little bit vague. Quentin Tarantino famously did have some issues with what were the boundaries for this character. Now, the director has said that the rules as we hear them in the film aren't his rules so much as the rules that the characters have interpreted. Basically that the creature is always walking towards you, you can never outrun it, you have to pass it on to someone else by way of sex. It's very, very good. Now, thank goodness, movies, films, and flicks, Mark Hoffmeyer has taken it upon himself to calculate how far the creature would have walked throughout the course of the film, taking into account the travels of the character and Mitchell's filming locations. Now, the film was shot in Detroit, and he was able to calculate the distance between a number of the different locations where they shot this movie. This is what they have found. The creature walked a total of 1,017 miles at an assumed pace of 20 minutes per mile. Very luxurious pace, which is why it's so scary. This is what he says: I'm assuming that the creature always reroutes itself and follows the quickest route when its prey changes location. Since it can't just walk through homes, I think it uses surface roads, alleys, and areas that aren't fenced off to its prey. So there you have an idea of just how far.
That is, it's funny because I grew up in Michigan, I grew up in Ann Arbor, and when I look at that map, that's so far. Like, I've been up north a few times, and the drive is like 7 hours, and they're like way, way up north.
Yeah, it's far.
And they had to cross like the Mackinac Bridge and everything to get there too. So it's like, okay, come on, that's crazy. But
so when you learn about something like this, when someone really breaks down and perhaps overanalyzes something as broad as a horror movie, or at least the concept for It Follows, does this ruin the movie for you? Does it make it better?
No, it makes it better for me because it goes to there's other people out there that are as invested in like the mythology behind this movie as I am.
I completely agree, and I also was fascinated. That was one of my questions. Is I know that David Robert Mitchell said that he doesn't really intend on doing an It Follows sequel, but I really wish that there was, or at least exploring that world or the boundaries of that entity a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I really wondered about the creature's journey. I loved staying with the kids as they were figuring out what they had to do and just driving around about town trying to lose this entity. But I kind of wondered if we could have a little bit more time on what the entity's sort of day-to-day looks like.
What's its history? Like, why did it even come to being? It's so good, and I like that all these questions are left unanswered. I think that really adds to it. So I disagree with what Quentin Tarantino says.
So
your imagination does like a way better job of like building this world.
I completely
agree.
Than
if they just like put it out there.
If there was another sort of over analytical analysis that you could find of another horror movie, what would you want?
Well, it's already been done, which is why I picked the story. But like for the movie The Shining, there's been so much research into that movie, and there's actually a really good documentary called Room 347 something.
Yeah.
It's a really good documentary about all these different theories behind it. And they do very similar things to like this. Like they track like where little Danny like rides around in the hotel, and like they map out the hotel and like find out all these like weird little Easter eggs in it.
Interesting. Yeah. I would want to know more details about Pinhead from Hellraiser. If I just want more Pinhead, man. I'm on a Hellraiser kick right now, and I just want to know so much more about him.